ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
That is XeF6. XeF6. F6. What about the shape of XeF6 molecule? Distorted, pentagonal, bipyramidal. Axial fluorine, equatorial, equatorial. This is the lone pair present in the equatorial position. Here the number of electron pairs is equal to 7. Number of lone pairs is equal to 1. Number of bond pairs is equal to 6. Actually, based on the number of electron pairs, the shape of the molecule is expected to be pentagonal bipyramidal, and the bond angle at the central xenon atom is expected to be 72 degrees and 90 degrees. But these two are wrong. Why? Due to availability of the lone pair, they can be represented like this. This is lone. Due to availability of the lone pair, how many lone pairs are there? One lone pair. The shape of the molecule is changed to distorted pentagonal bipyramid, and bond angles at central xenon atom is 90. That is between axial and equatorial fluorine atoms. But what about this? Here that is near about 72 degrees, very closer to 72 degrees, or simply in some cases in some textbooks that is given as less than 72 degrees. What is the reason for the deviation in the shape of the molecules and also bond angle in the equatorial positions? Here the lone pair in most of the molecules, in most of the cases, if is there any lone pair present in the valence shell of central atom, during the formation of molecule, that lone pair goes to the equatorial position only. Why? When the lone pairs are present or available on the equatorial plane, there will be less repulsion. So, in a molecule, the geometry is influenced by the repulsion between the different electron pairs. Here the repulsion between the electron pairs should be minimum. Then only here the molecule becomes stable. This is the one of the deviation, XeF6. And same time, for another important, now let us consider, okay, what is the shape of SF6 molecule? Octahedral. How many bond pairs are there? 6. With the same thing, we can give another example. What is that? Xenon tetrafluoride, Xe. Fluorine. Here the lone pairs are arranged axially. And in the previous case I have mentioned that in most of the cases the lone pair should be arranged, the lone pair goes to the equatorial position. But here instead of that I am arranging the lone pairs on axial positions. Why? Here when two lone pairs are there, if they are arranged axially, here the angle between the two lone pairs is 180. They are far apart with each other in opposite sides. Then there will be less repulsion between the lone pairs. They are distributed to different directions. So, in chemistry, if there is a statement given by the scientist in one chapter, that is acceptable and successfully applicable to 90% only. To 90% only, and here 10% deviations are there, that we are mentioned during the discussion. In such cases or in such examples only you have to concentrate. Why such type of examples are given in the objective exams? Okay, here the number of electron pairs is equal to 6, bond pairs is equal to 4, equatorial fluorine, equatorial fluorine, equatorial fluorine, equatorial fluorine. What is the angle between the equatorial fluorine? 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And next one, number of lone pairs is equal to 2. If the shape of the molecule is predicted on the basis of number of electron pairs, then the shape of the molecule is expected to be octahedral and bond angle at the central xenon atom to be 90 degrees. But these two are wrong. These two are wrong. Why? What is the reason for that? Availability or presence of two lone pairs in the valence shell of central atom. Here the interactions of the electron pairs is different. Bond pair repulsions are there. Lone pair bond pair repulsions are there. Lone pair repulsions are there. All the three types of repulsions are there. It causes to the deviation in the shape of the molecule. As a result of that, here the shape of the molecule is changed to square planar. Square planar. And what is the angle between the two lone pairs? Lone pair angle at the central xenon is 180 degrees. And the angle between the equatorial fluorine atoms is 90 degrees. And the shape of the molecule is square planar. In the same way, we can give different examples. This is about the important features and examples that are related to VSEPR theory, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, which was given by Sidgwick and Powell and developed by Nyholm and Gillespie. And in the next class, I will give the information related to the hybridization. After the completion of hybridization, we have to correlate both the VSEPR theory and the concept of hybridization. Then finally we can make a table related to hybridization and Vesper theory. In such cases, then you can get so many examples. Up to that, you have to keep in mind all the shape of the molecules that decided on the basis of electron pairs. Right, thank you. Good morning to all. Today, I will give the information related to two important concepts. One is Fajans rules and another one is formal charge. Right. What is the significance of Fajans rules? What is the need of that? Why we have to go through Fajans rules? Very simple. In order to understand the formation of the bond between the two atoms and to determine type of the bond formed between the two atoms, here Fajans was given some observations. They are collectively represented as Fajans rules. What about the important features of the Fajans rules? Here the first one. Fajans was given the favorable condition for the formation of both covalent bond and also ionic bond. First point, bigger cation, smaller anion. bigger cation, smaller anion is favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Okay, what is the meaning of that? With increase of the size of the cation, the polarizing power gradually decreases and the tendency of forming ionic bond increases. Means what? Here the polarizing power of the cation directly proportional to the tendency of formation of covalent bond. And in the same way here related to anion, smaller anion, with increase of the size of the anion, that is readily undergo distortion, undergo contraction when that is come closer to the cation. That is nothing but here, that is nothing but polarizability of anion. Here the tendency of attracting the electron cloud of anion by a cation is known as polarizing power. Polarizing power is related to cation, polarizability is related to anion. Okay. Here bigger cation, smaller anion is favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Let us consider 2 or 3 cations. What are they? Li plus, Na plus, K plus, Rb plus, Cs plus. These are all the cations of alkali metals. Among all these, from lithium to cesium, the size gradually decreases. Means here the cesium is the bigger cation. Cesium is the bigger cation. And in the same way, anions, example for the anions are fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide. In all these anion, fluoride ion is smaller anion. Now, the bond formed between the Cs plus ion and F minus ion means cesium fluoride is an ionic compound. An ionic compound. Okay. And here, during the discussion related to the favorable condition, first favorable condition for the formation of ionic bond, I have given the statement, bigger cation, smaller anion is favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Examples, the bond formed between the cesium plus ion and F minus ion is ionic. Okay. Another example, if a bond is formed between Li plus and I minus ion, that is lithium iodide. Smaller cation, bigger anion. Okay, here the bond formed is covalent. What is the reason for that? Simply polarizing power. What is polarizing power? The tendency of a cation to attract the electron cloud of the anion towards itself is known as polarizing power. Due to that, the electronic cloud present in the anion undergo contraction and diffuse towards the cation. The tendency of attracting power of the electron cloud by the cation is known as polarizing power. Okay. Suppose this is cation and here this is anion. In this anion, the electron cloud is distributed like this. This is the electron cloud. When the cation and anion come closer with each other, here this cation attracting this electron cloud of the anion, then here this electron cloud undergo contraction and diffuse towards the anion. Here this is known as polarizing power. It is represented by the symbol psi. Psi means polarizing power psi is equal to charge of cation by radius square. Means what? Polarizing power is inversely related to radius. Means what? Here smaller the radius of the cation, bigger is the polarizing power. And here, what about the relation between the radius and charge of cation? Here, with increase of the charge of cation, radius size or radius gradually decreases. Take for example, let us consider Na plus, Mg2 plus, Al3 plus, Si4 plus. As we move from Na plus to Si4 plus, the size gradually decreases. Why? Charge gradually increases. Size decreases, charge increases. Therefore, polarizing power gradually increases. Gradually increases. Size decreases, charge increases, polarizing power increases. This is about the important features or important points that are related to the polarizing power which is concerned with cation. Okay, but what about the polarizability? This is related to anion. This is related to anion. What is that? Polarizability. What is polarizability? Polarizability means here the contraction of the electron cloud in the anion by the attraction from the cation is known as polarizability. Polarizability. Here polarizability is generally represented by the symbol omega. And here omega directly proportional to polarizability. Polarizability. Okay, and here, it is represented by the symbol omega, and polarizability directly proportional to charge. In case of anion, the size of anion or the radius of anion directly proportional to charge. Means what? With increase of the size of the anion, here the charge also, with increase of the charge of the anion, size increases. Example, here the first one, Cl minus, S2 minus, P3 minus. Chloride ion, sulfide ion, phosphide ion. Here from chloride to phosphide, charge increases. Here charge increases. Therefore, size increases. Therefore, omega also increases. Means polarizability also increases. Why? What is the reason for that? The basic reason is due to decrease of effective nuclear charge. Once again, you may fall in confusion. What is the effective nuclear charge? Nuclear attraction per each electron. Why the effective nuclear charge decreases? And what is the link between the effective nuclear charge and the polarizability? Polarizability means contraction of electron cloud. Very simple. With increase of the charge of the anion, the size gradually increases. Take for example, chloride ion, number of electrons 18. Sulfide ion, number of electrons 18. Phosphide ion, number of electrons 18. Means this is isoelectronic series 18. Number of electrons remains same. But what about the nuclear charge of chlorine? 17. And what about the nuclear charge of sulfur? 16. What about the nuclear charge of phosphorus? 15. From chloride to phosphorus, number of protons inside the nucleus decreases. Number of electrons remains same. Here now nuclear charge gradually decreases. Means the nuclear attraction for each electrons gradually or slightly decreases compared to chloride. In phosphide ion, the effective nuclear charge is less compared to chloride ion. As a result of that, size increases. With increase of the size, automatically polarizability increases. Means due to less effective nuclear charge, the nucleus is loosely held the electron cloud. loosely held or loosely attracting the electron cloud. As a result of that, when cation come closer with each other, the electron cloud is distributed towards that particular cation. That phenomenon is known as polarizability. This is about the relations. And here, polarizability is directly proportional to charge and size of anion directly proportional to charge. And totally polarizability directly proportional to radius of anion and directly proportional to charge of anion. With increase of polarizability, tendency of forming covalent bond increases, tendency of forming ionic bond decreases. Tendency of forming with increase of the polarizability, tendency of forming covalent bond increases, tendency of forming ionic bond decreases. This is the concept behind this point, which was given by Fajans. Okay. Second point. Smaller cation, quite contrast. Bond formed between the smaller cation and bigger anion. Bigger anion is covalent bond. Here, for these two statements, here the answer is already given. Example for this, lithium iodide is covalent. Why? Cation is smaller, anion is bigger. Anion is bigger. This is about the first 2 points that are related to Fajans rules. Next, second point. Cation with high charge. Cation with high charge and anion with high charge. Cation with high charge and anion with high charge. Cation with high charge and anion with high charge are favorable for the formation of covalent bonds. Take for example, let us consider Na plus, Mg2 plus, Al3 plus. Here charge of the sodium ion 1, magnesium ion 2, aluminum ion 3. Here the cation charge is high, means size is low. When the size is low, automatically that enhances the polarizing power. Right. In the same way, let us consider chloride, sulfide and phosphide. Chloride, sulfide, phosphide. -1, -2, -3. From chloride to phosphide, charge increases, means size increases. With increase of the size of the anion, polarizability increases. Tendency of forming covalent bond increases. Now, here the bond formed between Al3 plus and P3 minus is nothing but covalent bond. Here the formula Alp, aluminum phosphide. Cation with high charge, anion with high charge is favorable for the formation of covalent bond. Example. Next, another statement, quite reverse. Cation and anion with a small charge favorable for formation of ionic bond. Cation and anion with a small charge is less. Let us consider sodium. Example, Na plus. Among these three ions, Na plus is the cation with small charge, +1. Cation and anion with small charge favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Here anion with small charge is Cl minus. Now bond formed between Na plus and Cl minus means sodium chloride is an ionic compound. Ionic compound. I am repeating once again. First statement. Bigger cation, smaller anion is favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Smaller cation, bigger anion is favorable for the formation of covalent bond. This is the concept. Polarizing power and polarizability concept. Next, cation with high charge, anion with high charge are favorable for the formation of covalent bond. Example. Cation and anion with small charge is favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Reasons. For all the four statements, this is the concept and this is the logic behind that. Right. And next one. Let us go through another important point that is related to Fajans rules. What is that? Cation and anion with inert gas configuration. Cation and anion. Either cation. Okay, cation or anion or cation, whatever it may be, either cation and anion or only cation with inert gas configuration. Inert gas configuration is favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Cation and anion or only cation with inert gas configuration is favorable for the formation of ionic bond. Example. Let us consider two cations, Ca2 plus, Zn2 plus. Of course, there are so many anions, chloride ion, next fluoride ion, bromide ion, phosphide ion. These are all the different types of anions, oxide ion, etc. This is the calcium ion. Calcium atomic number 20. 2 plus means 2 electrons lost. How many electrons are left in the calcium ion? 18. Here the electronic configuration of Ca2 plus ion is same as that of argon, that is equal to 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Here due to 8 electronic configuration in the valence shell, this cation Ca2 plus ion is exceptionally stable. For this, you can take any anion with inert gas configuration, then automatically the bond formed between the cation and anion with inert gas configuration is ionic bond. What is the reason for that? In order to get extra stability, become stable. And here Zn2 plus ion, argon 4s0 3d10, 4s0 3d10, and in detail 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6 and 3d10. This is the configuration of Zn2 plus ion. First orbit, second orbit, and this is third orbit. How many electrons are present in the third orbit? 18 electrons. Not 8 electrons. This is not octet configuration. This is not inert gas configuration. This is known as pseudo inert gas configuration. Pseudo inert gas configuration. The cation with pseudo-unit gas configuration is favorable for the formation of covalent bond. The cation with inert gas configuration is stable and favorable for the formation of ionic bond. The only one factor that is involved, the only logic behind this is stability, strength. This is about the fifth point of Fajans rules. And sixth point is already known to you, most popular statement. Here, based on the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms in a molecule, we can easily identify the type of the bond present in the molecule. How? If the electronegativity difference between the two atoms is equal to 1.7, then the bond has 50% covalent and 50% ionic nature. If the electronegativity difference is greater than 1.7, the bond is ionic. Means what? Here, ionic bond has greater than 50%, covalent bond has less than 50%. Means compound is ionic. If the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms is less than 1.7, then ionic bond is less than 50% and covalent bond nature is more than 50%. If the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms is equal to 0, that is equal to 0, then the bond is 100% pure covalent. Means what? There is 100% covalent bond is there, pure covalent bond is there, but there is no 100% ionic bond. There is no 100% ionic bond. This is very important statement related to Fajans rules. Based on the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms, we can determine the type of the bond present between the two atoms in the molecule. If the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms is equal to 1.7, then that bond has 50% covalent nature, 50% ionic nature. And if that is greater than that of 1.7, the bond has more ionic nature, less covalent nature. If the electronegativity difference is less than 1.7, then the bond has more covalent nature, less ionic nature. If the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms is equal to 0, then the bond is 100% covalent, pure covalent. There is a pure covalent bond, but there is no 100% ionic bond, pure ionic bond. This is about the important features that are related to Fajans rules. This is very important for objective bits. Here this is 100% application concept. In IPA or whatever it, in any objective exam, there is no particular questions will be given from the Fajans rules related to these statements. But here very important for the objective bits, application type of bits, this is very important. Then you have to recall the point to point of Fajans rules and you have to answer. Then only you can get correct answers. Otherwise, definitely you may fall in troubles. Right. Here this is about the Fajans rules. Based on all these points related to Fajans rules, you can easily predict the type of the bond present between the two atoms or any two atoms in periodic table. Okay, next one. Another important concept is formal charge. Formal charge. What is formal charge? How can you calculate formal charge? And what are the important points related to formal charge? And how the formal charge affects the stability of a species, that may be ion or molecule. Ion means that may be anion or cation. whatever it may be. How the formal charge affects the stability of the species, that we have to learn in this topic, formal charge. Okay. How can you define or understand the word formal charge? Here, formal charge is a fraction of the charge on the bond, fraction of a charge on the bond which is present between the similar electronegative atoms or identical electronegative atoms, means pure covalent compounds or nearly pure covalent compounds. I am repeating once again. Formal charge is the fraction of the charge of the bond that present between or that formed between two atoms of two similar electronegative atoms or two identical atoms, means what? Pure covalent molecule or nearly pure covalent molecules. Here the concept of formal charge is applicable. And here the formal charge is not considered as the real charge of the ionic species. This is not considered as the real charge. This is an imaginary charge. This is considered as an imaginary charge. It is not considered as the real charge or real ionic charge of the species. Okay. But here, in a polyatomic ion, the charge that appears on the species is not confined to any one of the particular atom in the species or ion. That is concerned with the ion as a whole. That is concerned with the ion as a whole. And now, how can you define formal charge? Here the formal charge played an important role in representation of the molecules according to Lewis dot structures. And it is defined as the difference in the number of electrons present in the valence shell of an atom in the elemental state or free state and in the molecular state. Means when the same atom present in a molecule, the difference between the number of valence electrons present in an atom in the free state and in the molecular state, that is represented under the banner formal charge. And the species with less energy carrying less formal charge, such species are stable. Such species are stable. And it is very clear and everybody knows the species with neutral charge are, take for example molecule, the species with neutral charge are exceptionally stable. Everybody knows species with charge are relatively unstable compared to the molecule. Either cation or anions are unstable, they are very reactive. What is the reason for that? Only the energy. Here the molecular species are lower energy than ionic species. As a result of that, the molecular species are more stable, ionic species are less stable. And here once again I am giving the statement. The species means the ions or the species with less fractional charge or less formal charge possess greater stability. Greater stability. Lesser the formal charge, and next one, lesser the formal charge, greater is the stability. This is about the concept of formal charge. I am repeating once again. Take for example, first one. Formal charge is the fraction of the charge on the bond that formed between the similar electronegative atoms or identical electronegative atoms. Right. What about the example here? O3. All the three atoms are identical, similar electronegative. Then each and every atom carries some charge. That is nothing but formal charge. Okay, that is nothing but formal charge. How can you calculate formal charge? That we have to learn in this topic. That is the first point. Second point, whatever the formal charge that is not considered as the real ionic charge, not equal to real ionic charge, and same time in a polyatomic ion, the charge that appears on the spaces is not confined to any particular atom in that. That is concerned with ion as a whole. Take for example, PO4 3 minus. Okay. Here charge is 3 plus, then you may fall in confusion. ClO4 minus. Here 1 chlorine atom plus 4 oxygen atoms, totally 5 atoms are present. But what about the charge of the ion? Minus 1. This minus 1 charge is not related to a particular chlorine atom or any one of the oxygen atom. That is confined to ion as a whole, that is related to all the 5 atoms present in the species or ion. In case of polyatomic ion, the charge that appears on the species is not confined or concerned with any particular atom in the species. That is concerned with ion as a whole. Ion as a whole. And the formal charge may be defined as the difference between the number of electrons present in the valence shell of the atom in the free state and in the molecular state. And here, based on the formal charge of the species, we can understand the stability also. The species with zero formal charge is exceptionally stable, nothing but molecular form. Nothing but molecular form. Okay, NH3, this is the molecule, this is exceptionally stable. And the species with charge are relatively less stable, NH4 plus, SCN minus. These are all the cations and anions, they are less stable compared to the molecular species. So, the species with less or low fractional charge are stable. And the species with more fractional charge are less stable. Generally, less stable species are having high energy and stable species are having low energy. This is about the concept related to the formal charge. Okay. But how can you calculate the formal charge? And generally, formal charge may be represented as Fc or in some textbooks that is given as Qc. Whatever it may be, no problem. Formal charge may be represented, may be calculated or represented in the form of Fc, formal charge, or Qc. Here, Qc is equal to V minus Lp minus half into Bp. Here, what is V? V is equal to number of valence electrons in free state or elemental state over group number of that atom. Lp is equal to number of electrons in lone pairs. Bp is equal to number of electrons in bond pairs. Number of electrons in bond pairs. Look at here, Qc is equal to V minus Lp minus half Bp. This is the formula or expression used to calculate the formal charge. And Qc means formal charge. V means number of valence electrons of the atom in the free state. Number of valence electrons of atom in free state. or group number of the atom. Lp is equal to number of electrons in lone pairs. Bp is equal to number of electrons in bond pairs. Right? How can you calculate the formal charge? I will give some examples. And mostly formal charge played an important role to represent the Lewis dot structures. And here the first one, O3. Right? According to Lewis dot structure, or without knowing Lewis dot structure, I am representing ozone like this. I am representing ozone like this. Right? As per my knowledge related to Lewis dot structure, I have given the molecular structure or arrangement of the atoms in ozone molecule is given like that. Now you have to check whether that is correct or not. How can you check? By using formal charge. Now, let us consider this oxygen atom as 1 and this is 2, second oxygen, and this is 3. Okay. Here the first one. QC of first oxygen is equal to, what is the number of valence electrons of oxygen? Nothing but group number 6 minus lone pair, electrons present in lone pairs 2 minus number of electrons in bond pair by 2 1, 2, 3. 3 into 2 6, 6 by 2 3. Got my point? 1, 2, 3, 3 bonds. Each covalent bond carry 2 electrons. 3 into 2 6. 6 by 2, 3. Here the formula, QC is equal to V minus LP minus half BP. This is the formula. Okay. And here 6 minus 2 minus 3, that is equal to plus 1. So, you have to put plus charge at first oxygen. Second oxygen, this one, O2. Then group number 6 minus number of electrons as lone pairs 4 minus, how many bonds are there? How many bonds formed by this oxygen? 2. 2 into 2, 4. 4 by 2, 2. That is equal to 0. Here there is no charge on this oxygen. Now, third oxygen, formal charge. What is the group number of oxygen? 6 minus, how many electrons are appeared as lone pairs? 6. Okay, 6 minus, here there is only one bond pair. How many electrons are present in the bond pair? 2. 2 by 2 is equal to 1. 6 minus 7 is equal to minus 1. You have to put minus here. You should be represent the ozone molecule like this according to Lewis dot structure. Okay. Second example, NH4 plus. NH4 plus. Actually 5 atoms are there. Charge is plus 1. This charge is not confined to a particular atom. That is the charge represented on the spaces. Now, according to Lewis dot structure, I am representing the ammonium ion like this, NH4 plus ion. First hydrogen, second hydrogen, third hydrogen, fourth hydrogen, whatever it may be. Here hydrogen formal charge is equal to 1 minus 0 minus, there is no lone pairs in the valence shell of hydrogen, but bond, each hydrogen atom has one bond. That bond has 2 electrons, 2 by 2 is equal to 1, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0 formal charge. Next, nitrogen formal charge is equal to, what is the group number of nitrogen? 5 minus, is there any lone pair? One lone pair is there, but that is donated to hydrogen atoms. So, 0 minus here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 into 2, 8. Okay. 4 into 2, 8. 8 by 2 is equal to 4. 5 minus 0 minus 4 is equal to plus 1. Now the charge you should put at nitrogen. Okay. And next one, SCN minus. Third example. Sulfur, carbon, nitrogen atoms are there. Here there is a negative charge, that is minus 1. And here that minus 1 charge is appeared on either sulfur or carbon or nitrogen, that we have to decide. And S C double bond N. This is the representation of the species according to Lewis structure. Here, QC of sulfur is equal to 6 minus 4 minus 2, that is equal to 0. Sulfur carries no charge. And next one, carbon, QC of carbon is equal to 4 minus 0 minus 4 is equal to 0, no charge. And formal charge of nitrogen, QC is equal to 5 minus 4 minus, here what is the number of electrons or as bond pairs? 4. 4 by 2 is equal to 2. That is equal to 5 minus 6 is equal to minus 1. Now you should put minus here. That carries on the nitrogen atom. Here the same structure can be represented in another way. Suppose, unfortunately, I am representing like this. Unfortunately. Here, sulfur QC is equal to 6 minus 4 minus 1. Why we are representing 1? There is only one covalent bond. 2 electrons are there. 2 by 2 is equal to 2 by 2 is equal to 1. 6 minus 4 minus 1. 6 minus 4 minus 1. That is equal to here 6 minus 5. That is equal to plus 1. Sorry. 6 minus 1. One bond is there. So another lone pair. 6 minus 1. Then 6 minus 7 is equal to minus 1. You should be very careful. And here charge that appears on the sulfur in this structure is minus 1. Next carbon, QC is equal to 4 minus 0 minus 4 is equal to 0. No charge. And nitrogen QC is equal to 5 minus 2 minus 3 is equal to 0. No charge. Okay. And here this is the structure 1 and this is structure 2. And we can write another structure also. What is that? S triple bond C N 2 3. And here only one bond pair. Here formal charge of sulfur is equal to 6 minus 2 minus 3, that is equal to 6 minus 2, that is equal to plus 1. Here you have to put plus. Carbon is equal to 4 minus 0 minus 4 is equal to 0. And what about nitrogen? QC is equal to 5 minus 6 minus 1. 5 minus 6 minus 1. 5 minus 1. That is equal to 5 minus 6 is equal to minus 1. You should put minus here. Here this is the unpaired electron. It can form 3 bonds. It can form 3 bonds. But here only one bond is formed. So here the number of unpaired electrons available is equal to 5. 5 plus 2, 7 plus 1. Total 8, octet configuration, minus 1. This is about the examples for the formal calculation of formal charge. Another one, PH3. For phosphorus, QC is equal to 5 minus 0 minus 3. Okay, 5 minus 0 minus 3. And here why we are putting 0? There is no lone pairs according to the first expectation. But here this is the third, this is the fifth group element. So you have to put a pair of electrons in that, just like ammonia. Then 5 minus 2 minus 3, that is equal to 0. So you should very careful about the electronic structures. And what about the formal charge of hydrogen? 1 minus 0 minus 1 is equal to 0. And here the structure of phosphine is very similar to that of the structure of ammonia. Structure of ammonia. This is the structure of ammonia. This is about the calculation of formal charge. Calculation of formal charge. Okay, right.